1 run. And down the stretch, the Hornets just executed better. They hit 7 threes in the fourth quarter, but the Hornets only shot 36%. Only the 3rd time in Laker history they've lost to a team shooting this poorly. It's a bad loss. It's a tough loss. The Hornets had lost 9 of 10 coming in, and it just seems like they took their foot off the gas, Rob, at the end of that third quarter. And despite LeBron's heroics, couldn't get it done.
They left the car at the airport. They didn't do anything. And you look at this team, you know, you got a team like the Charlotte Hornets, and you have a team that's a penetrating team like the Lakers can be. I know we had no AR, and that was crucial, but the Lakers only shot 12 free throws against a poorly defensive team in the Charlotte Hornets. And for me, that was the key. You know, the Charlotte Hornets had 8 more free throws made than the Lakers. And you look at the Lakers shot 51 threes. Are you kidding me? You don't have to shoot 51 threes versus the Charlotte. You get to the cup. You play the percentages. And to me, they didn't take this team serious. And shooting 51 threes shows that they didn't take this team serious. And they just said, you know what, we're going to come out. We're going to win. It's All-Star break. Teams usually perform badly after the All-Star break. But this is a young team. Young teams normally come out with energy.
Lakers, huge favorites, 13.5 points. So, you know, most people said, yeah, they're going to win this game, go into Portland tomorrow, see what happens there. It was a strange game in a couple ways for me. Austin Reeves getting kicked out of the game in the third quarter. Huge turning point. Maybe it's a little bit of a learning lesson for Austin. And I understand his frustration. He gets fouled a lot. And Robbie does not get the LeBron treatment. And you know, he's not a superstar, so he shouldn't. But, you know, he got the first one right there, and maybe just stop. And then he gets the second one after he turns back towards the ref. After that, and a couple other bad words, and that was it for Austin. And I felt the Laker offense struggled in the third quarter, only 18 points, Rob, and just a little out of sync in that fourth quarter. I know they got 31 in the fourth, which is good, but just couldn't really pull away from Charlotte. Sloppy first half, Tugi. We talked about it on the halftime show. Lakers up 11 at the time, but they had a ton of turnovers. They could have been up 20 at the half and maybe really put this team away early.
Yeah, Rob, you look at that 4-minute mark in that third quarter. Lakers are up 13. They miss a 3. They foul for an and 1. Gets down to 8. And that's when Austin gets kicked out. And they never scored again until the 9-minute or so mark of the fourth quarter. And like you said, you and I were watching at that point, just at the shot selection. Like you said, they were just kind of cruising. If it wasn't for LeBron, like, getting them back in it with some crazy shots, I don't know, you know, and then the team started to play with a little bit more life, but it was just tough offensively.
It was crucial because Rui hit that 3 from the corner, and that kind of broke the ice. But after that, you know, the Hornets were hot. You know, Bridges hit some threes. You know, Melo hit back-to-back threes. And when you're a young, scrappy team like this, that's what they live off. They thrive off this. They thrive off the threes. You know, they came out, they started knocking those down. You even had, you know, Josh Green. He was over 3, but he played a lot of great defense. Mark Williams, you know, he was inspired tonight to block shots because of the trade that didn't go through. It was so many guys on this team that had inspiration to play in this game. And as you look at this Lakers squad, you know, and you look at what Rui came, not Rui, but when Luka came out, he didn't have a very good shooting out. And I think he's still trying to, you know, chip the rust off him. But this still, to me, boiled down to effort and energy. The effort wasn't there. The energy wasn't there because when you shoot 51 threes, like I said, that shows you that you're just settling instead of playing basketball the right way. That's just getting to the cup and take advantage of the opportunities offensively.
You know, Brez, we said this at halftime. You know, the Hornets only scored 37 points. They were shooting 26% or something like that at halftime. But I looked and the Lakers were only up 11.
Yeah.
And they had 11 turnovers at the time. And we all just felt like that was dangerous. But if you could have come out in that third quarter, go on a run, put them away, you're not having this conversation. But you let them hang around. They go on that 24-1 run. Now they have all the confidence in the world. They hit a 3 to end that third quarter as well. That's 8 threes, basically. 7 threes at fourth, 1 at the end of the third. That's 8 threes. That's the thing. I mean, they're a bad basketball team. Not good on the road. Lost 9 of 10, but when you get them, they're just going to hoist. They're just going to shoot 3.
Sure.
And if they get hot, then anything can happen in the NBA. We've seen it time and time again.
Which they did in that second half. You know, much better effort for Charlotte offensively, and they're not a good team offensively, and still, you know, they beat the Lakers. Here's what you were alluding to, Geet. Rarely do you hold a team to 36.3% shooting and lose. You know, I don't like that 97 for the Lakers. It's the first time they've scored under 100, Rob, since a few days after New Year's. I mean, it's been a good 6-7 weeks since they were sub 100 on offense. And big picture, guys, here's what I don't like about the Lakers over the last week. You go into Utah, that team was 14th in the West. You lose by 12. Okay, you take a week off, LeBron rests and everything. Now you're playing the team that's 14th in the East in LA, and you lose. So, you know, they really need to stack up these wins. They were doing a pretty good job against sub 500 teams this year. And now you got a lot of good teams coming up. Portland tomorrow, they've lost 3 in a row. They've been competitive lately. But after that, wow, guys, and the schedule's really going to get tough for the Lakers. A lot of games against a lot of good teams. So you really need to beat these bad teams, and it did not happen. That's a disappointing part.
Especially if you want to be above the line.
Yeah.
You know how tight it is, and obviously there's 29 games left, so you can't panic. But you lose to those two teams. Obviously, Rob, you were the hottest team in the league, and then when you lose those, you kind of start to go, okay, got a tough one in Portland tomorrow night because it's on a back-to-back, and then all of a sudden, you know, well documented. Everyone's talking about the strength of schedule. Lakers have one of the toughest schedules coming up. Looking at Denver on Saturday night.
Yeah, you know how Denver is. They kind of been owning the Lakers for a while, but you know, you look at this game, and there was a couple of key moments in the game where guys like Finney had that turnover where you looking for Luka when you should have took the shot. I know certain times guys are the stars of the team. Take your opportunity. You've been knocking down threes. You have to do that. And now you got to build up this confidence to go on the road, because think about it, you've lost 2 games in a row to 2 teams that are lottery teams.
And are okay being in the lottery.
Yeah, and they're okay,
yeah,
but
right,
you know, it's a Cooper flagship right now. You know, and so for me, you got to find a way now to pick yourself up and go in, because now you're playing another team that's a lottery team. But are you business-like? Are you man enough to say, oh, you know what, we've lost 2 in a row. We can't lose 3 in a row. If we want a position, and Jock gave a position where we be in the best playoff position possible, you got to win this game. You know, I hardly ever say this, but this pretty much is a must-win for the Lakers. Because, like you said, you got this road trip that's about to come up. You got all these juggernauts are sitting there that hate the Lakers, that always want to beat the Lakers, and that makes you have to spend more energy with a team that's, you know, not very big in size and they are very heavy loaded when it comes to their starters.
And Portland just hanging around up there. You know, this was the only game tonight, a reschedule for the Lakers and Charlotte from a month ago when the fires were happening. So Lakers had to come back a day early, as did Charlotte, and obviously it didn't look real good, Geet. Yeah, I'm a little. The offense didn't look good in that second half, you know. And Luka still a little short on some of his shots. Made only 1 3.
1 for 9 from 3, 6 turnovers.
Yeah, and 5 fouls too. Second game in a row, he's had 5 fouls. What does that tell me? He's still working his way back into shape. Remember, he missed almost 7 weeks between games.
Long since his career.
That was a long stretch. So, you know, I saw some good things from him tonight. I thought he was active on the glass, which he often is. You got to like plays like that. And in the long run, this is the guy. He's your guy. Nice little move there, Rob. But again, you know, missed too many threes. And he wasn't the only guy who seemed a little short on his shots tonight. But the Lakers came up short, obviously.
Yeah, Rui was a little short, 1 for 8. LeBron was 4 for 11. And this is my whole point. You know, it boggles my mind how coaches, not just the players, coaches, you know, say, yo, we're not making threes. Get to the bucket. This is a Charlotte Hornets team that don't want to play defense. And you playing right into their hands. And it makes me so mad at players and coaches when they say, okay, this analytical stuff, we got to shoot threes. It's the way the game is played. No, the game is played to get buckets and play defense. And when you're not getting buckets from the long ball, you got to go inside. And you think about it. And even though LeBron went to the hole, he had that awesome dunk, should have got fouled, AR should have got fouled. Who cares? You're not making threes. Keep going to the basket because eventually you're going to get a call.
All right, guys, back to Crypto.com Arena. JJ Redick is speaking with Mike Trudell in the media.
JJ, you're up 13 in the third, and I think 8 when Austin got ejected. Did you see something specifically shift in the second half from that point on?
Các bạn vừa xem xong video phân tích của chúng tôi. Sau đây sẽ là video hướng dẫn cách làm một sợi dây trang trí hình tròn của chúng tôi. Bây giờ các bạn cùng tôi thực hiện cách làm nhé. Hôm nay thì mình sẽ hướng dẫn cho các bạn cách